the years, we've told you about drownings at a popular swimming spot in Madison County, Missouri. Well, it's happened again, and tonight there are renewed calls for the offsets near Fredericktown to make safety changes or be shut down. 5 on your side's Ann Allred tells us about one mom's fight that's dragged on for more than a decade. Ann?
Okay, that's right. Just yesterday, 19-year-old Cole DeFell drowned after jumping into the water at the offsets. His death is the latest in a string of similar stories, and for one mom, it's a painful reminder of the danger she says has existed for long enough. The Offsets is known as a place where daredevils can get their thrills jumping off cliffs into a water-filled quarry. But for Denise Mattingly, it'll always be known as the place where her son died.
It's just put a big hole in our hearts. His siblings will never recover.
Mattingly Jr. was 20 years old when he came here to enjoy a day with a group of friends.
You know, he was an all-around good kid, and I know every parent says that about their kids.
Michael never came home.
He slipped and fell 65 feet. He cracked his head open and slid in and drowned.
That was 11 years ago. Since then, at least 3 others have died here. The first just one day after Mattingly. A young man drowned in these waters in 2015. And the same thing happened near these cliffs on Wednesday. The news makes Denise Mattingly's heart ache.
It makes me want to scream, cry.
She's been fighting since her son's death to get the offset shut down over what she and other families claim are unsafe conditions.
And I've gone to our lawmakers and have gotten no help from them. I've wrote letters to the governor.
A big concern is the lack of lifeguards. The manager of the offsets didn't return our calls for an interview, but we're told there are rules against doing flips off the high cliffs. Jumping into the water is optional, with steps to get swimmers in safely. Life jackets and flotation devices are available for rent, and there are numerous signs warning visitors to swim at their own risk. Still, Mattingly says that's not enough.
I just want either them to have lifeguards, make it safer, or close it down.
Mattingly and other families have sued the offset. She's also been in contact with those other families and says they will not give up until changes are made. And the families feel these stories could really have a different ending if there were just lifeguards watching these swimmers.
You know, I'm amazed people still want to swim there when they know other swimmers have died in that same spot.
I think when you're 20, you think you're invincible.
It's not going to happen to you. Well, more kids and teens drown in open water than in pools. Lakes, rivers, and quarries, they're often a little bit murky, which makes it really hard to tell how deep the water is and what's underneath you. Things like sudden drop-offs, logs, or rocks. But natural swimming holes often have unpredictable and strong currents, and they may be much colder than you're used to or even realize. And that's dangerous even for experienced swimmers.
So while they're swimming fine in a pool, if they're trying to swim out in open water, they may tire much more quickly just because of the water temperature.
One thing you can do, designate someone to keep an eye on all swimmers and make sure weaker swimmers are wearing life jackets.